So we couldn't work through it because he cheated. Oh, that's what he thought you would resent him for. I found out this morning through an anonymous Facebook message that he wasn't loyal and that was more to the breakup than I knew. I called him twice with no response. So I sent him a text about the message. Still no response. So I decided to check his phone records. Lo and behold, a mysterious number popped up like the day that things started to go downhill for us. Ooh. He'd called the number on nights I was working and texted it throughout the day. Soon after I saw that, I checked Find My iPhone. He got his first iPhone and I helped him set it up 2 weeks ago. His GPS showed at a random house near downtown that I know none of his friends lived at. Soon after that, he called me. He denied it all and was trying to be all supportive. The moment I said I had proof he was hiding things from his phone records, his entire demeanor changed. He specifically stated,
"I didn't sleep with anyone."
Which was odd since I never brought up cheating. As he was talking, I checked Find My iPhone again, and from a distance, it looked like he left wherever he was and called as soon as he was in the car. I asked where he was and he said driving. I asked from where and he got very defensive, saying it wasn't my business since we weren't together anymore. I reiterated I knew he was hiding things from me. I still never brought up accusations of cheating yet. He called me creepy and stalkerish. Oh yeah, he gotta go. I asked who the specific phone number belonged to and he refused to answer, saying I was crazy. So I said I deserved to know and he said a friend from work. For the next few minutes, he refused to assign it gender pronouns. A little later, I pushed. It was a woman and he admitted it. So I asked who it was and said if it were the few women I know, then I get maybe he was venting to them. He refused to answer. So yeah, we can't work it out. Ooh. Also, prior to this, he was already acting like a hot and cold for the week after he left me on the day of my bridal shower, either acting like he didn't care one bit about me or that he wanted me back because his life was falling apart. Needless to say, I became more relieved that the relationship was over and was more mourning the fact that I was in the position I was in, canceling the wedding after a failed engagement. I realized he was very selfish and I took on every responsibility in wedding planning and our relationship while he had nothing to do but work and came home to play video games. For the record, I like video games, but only when I have the time. Basically, this was the icing on the cake, and any bit I had left hanging onto the relationship went right out the window. I honestly feel relieved. I don't feel sad. I feel free and happy. Well, that tells you everything you need to know. I'm not sad being in the apartment we shared anymore. My sister had helped me 2 nights ago set up a new bed that helped change the entire look of the bedroom. Monday, I'm going to a theme park with a coworker. While I'm not exactly trying to jump right into anything, he's a great guy and we have the same interests. It's just nice to have attention from someone I get along with. She edited to add, I'm getting tested ASAP. There's a new update posted this year. So X ended up knocking up the chick he'd been cheating with 3 months later, and he'd been cheating on me since before we were engaged. Oh. Then tried to call me to come back because he caught her talking to male friends about a video game and accused her of cheating. I basically told me to get over it and stop calling me. Looking back, it was almost a decade of passive, emotional A-word and controlling behavior. You know, I've said this so many times with people that accuse you of cheating. They either one have trust issues, which is very possible, or they think you're capable of the behavior because they're capable of it. In other words, they're the ones cheating. He was breaking up with me to control me, etc. Things happening the way they did, leaving me the morning of my bridal shower, making me call everyone on both sides to tell them to not show up because he wouldn't respond, totaling my car, cheating. Oh yeah, the car totaling. Honestly, was probably the only way I could easily flip a switch and move on. WTF was I thinking, because I'd been with him since I was basically a child still. It was the best thing that could have happened. It sucks it had to be so traumatic, but it was probably the only guaranteed way to end it. I've since been married and divorced, separated a year after marriage, divorced about 6 months later, met a guy a year after the original post happened who was basically my ex's opposite and was seemingly out of his league. He was perfect until the day after we got married and it was like something flipped. Looking back, there was zero signs. Later, I caught him spending tons of money on OF. Oh, man, you just got luck with guys, babe. Messaging random OF models on Twitter all day in DMs and replies, and ended up having an emotional affair with a chick he met on WoW and convinced me to be friends with. We can't talk about the rest of the things that are in this paragraph, but let's just say OP does not have good luck meeting guys. Clearly, I know how to pick him. I guess to me, he seemed safe at the time. He said all the right things, and honestly, I don't believe they were signs. He just hid it well until he felt he didn't have to anymore. 2 or 3 years later, after remaining single, me and a friend I've known passively for years just started talking because we both watched the same show no one else would watch. History for us is we met in a small Discord that are in real life friends only, and had been in there for years together. I'd met him like 2 times at meetups, but we never really talked as he's a friend of a friend. We played in the same MMO too, but we're in different groups, so never really talked. Apparently, he fell first, but stayed distant because he knew I was still recovering from my last 2 exes. His best friend also sent me screenshots later of him gushing about me, but not telling him who I was, and how he never wants to stop talking about me, but doesn't want to scare me off. His friend vouched that something about me changed him. I ended up tentatively getting interested because I knew people who vouched for him, multiple knowing him since they were 5 years old, saying he's probably the most stand-up guy they know. I love how you need like references now, but honestly, fair enough. They said he's very reserved, almost robotic in terms of emotions, but will do anything for anyone without being asked or expecting anything just because it's right. And never fibbing or lying or hiding things because he just didn't understand why. His best friend jokes he probably has a sprinkle of tism. He's had 2 exes on like 10 years and is happy alone and has never talked about them and only said that it just didn't work out versus calling them crazy or B words. Long story short, I moved across the country for him, and he's the best person I know. We have a child. Yay! And he's the most supportive and loving partner and father. Truly an involved parent and strives to make sure I'm not the primary caregiver. Or on the few times I am, he makes sure I never have to think about anything else. Traditional in the sense that he wants to provide for us and refuses to accept any financial contribution from me. Ooh, yes! But doesn't want me to be barefoot in the kitchen serving him. So house chores and mental workload is split. Okay, I kind of love that. Like, not kind of, like I really love that for you, babes. If I had to go through my 2 exes again, knowing I'd meet him, I'd do it 1,000,000 times over. He's genuinely my best friend, making me laugh constantly, takes interest in things I like, and is the best person I ever could have imagined for me. I love a happy ending. I think this just goes to show that, like, if you're going through a really relationship, just know that, like, not every relationship is like that. It just might be leading you to the right person.